All right, folks, this is going to be my very first knife review on my channel. It's just kind of a kitchen table thing. It's going to be short and sweet, and you're going to try to hit all the pertinent stuff. So first of all, I just so you're aware, I'm not a Magpul fanboy. Like, they build some pretty cool stuff, I think, but I'm not the guy that runs out and buys every single thing that's Magpul. I run a lot of their, AR mags, and some people like them, some people don't. I'm a little bit indifferent. I've got tons of metal mags. I've got tons of different brands of plastic mags, mostly because I work in the gun business, and if you're gonna sell this kind of stuff, you really need to know what it is you're selling. So the other thing is I'm doing this all on a cell phone, so I don't have like a tripod or anything, so it's going to be kind of a one-handed film with the other hand. It's going to be kind of shaky, and as I said in my other videos, I am no film editor, so this is just kind of is what it is. All right, so moving along, what we have here is the new limited edition Magpul Rigger knife. So there's the box. Most people aren't too excited about a box, but just kind of show you how it was packaged and how it comes. So it comes in this little guy here, and there is like a little warranty card in there. So the box is like that, and it's got a little magnet. It's a neat little box, but at the end of the day, it's just a box. That's not really what matters. They did a good job packaging it. Some people like the packaging, and if you're collecting knives to collect knives, then yeah, it's good packaging, So they are serial numbered and all of that kind of stuff. But here's the knife. So this thing, I didn't know if I was gonna like it. The only reason I really bought it was because it was limited, one of 200. And I do collect knives. Some of them I collect for investment. Some of them I collect for just my own personal enjoyment. This is one of those ones I thought that I would just buy because there are a lot of Magpul people out there, and when Magpul comes out with some limited stuff, they go crazy over it. So I thought I'd just add one to the collection, and who knows. But I can tell you, my personal opinion is this thing is impressive. They put a lot of thought into it. It doesn't, looking at it online doesn't really do it justice. It, the micarta is flawless. Everything on this, I can't find anything on here that is out of place. I can't find anything to complain about. It doesn't have the Magpul brand splashed all over the place, which I think, some companies are proud of their name of the company, and so they'll put the knife's name everywhere they can put it, so everybody, by the time you pull it out, everybody in the world knows what you're carrying. I personally, I don't really care whether that's the case. To me, if it's a knife that I think I can buy as an investment, I'll do that. But if it's a knife that I just like, even if it's got the name splashed all over it, that's okay. But one cool thing about this is, there's your Magpul logo, and if you know what Magpul is, then you know what the logo is. But honestly, I don't have any complaints. It's way better than I expected. It is, buttery smooth. It locks up nice and tight. There's no play in the blade, no wiggle whatsoever. That's about the only writing on there, and the serial number is on the spine, but it's, that's about all that's it. This little thing here, it's neat. I think it's kind of a novelty. I don't know if you have a frame lock knife to begin with, I don't know why you need to lock that, but there are some other companies out there that do the same thing just in a different way. There's quite a few of the Benchmades that'll have, that axis lock, but then once you have the axis lock, you'll have a little lock beside it, and most of the time if you have that, it's a spring-loaded knife to keep it from opening in your pocket by accident. But anyway, this thing is just, it's pretty flawless, It's, like I said, it's buttery smooth. One thing, I don't know if I can get a good picture of it or not. Probably not. Well, you can kind of see in there. If you look on the micarta side of the scales and you kind of look in there, there's that line that goes from left to right. What that actually is there's a titanium backer behind the micarta. So in other words, if you were to take the micarta handle off, what you would see is a micarta handle over the top of, I mean, for lack of a better term, a titanium brace, you know, that goes from the front of the knife to the rear, that kind of reinforces that micarta. You know, micarta is a good material anyway, but if you put a lot of pressure on it, you can crack the laminate that holds the, you know, the micarta together. But I mean, it right out of the box, it is stupid sharp. It's easy to clean. You know, taking the knife apart, I haven't taken it apart yet, but taking it apart is, you know, just a regular flat-bladed screwdriver. My advice is, if you have a knife like this, and they are a little expensive, but if you have a knife like this and you want to take it apart, before you just grab a regular screwdriver, maybe what you want to do is buy a screwdriver that fits the screws specifically. That way you're not marring up the screws whenever you're taking the knife apart. And I don't plan on taking this one apart anytime soon, but man, it is so easy. You know, these flippers, there's two different schools of thought. You have the light switch where you pull down, and then you got the button, you know. This one works either way. When I got it, I was just my intent was to just leave it, you know, in the box and set on it for a while. And I'm trying to organize a knife swap meet at some point. I don't know when, but anyway, now the more I hold it, I really just want to put it in my pocket, and I want to carry it because it's so light and it's just so thin. It's really thin. The pocket clip is, everything on this knife is well thought out. The pocket clip, I mean, everything is well thought out. But anyway, I mean, that's probably about the, you know, about the end of it. It's, I'm unclear as to whether this is the fourth series or if this is the third series. So at the end of the day, what Magpul had decided to do is they designed this rigger knife and they put it out in 4 different variants. So the way I understand it, and you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but the way I understand it is the first variant was all titanium S35 blade, and the scales and the blade were blacked out. The second variant was all titanium but stonewashed with the S35 blade. Now I don't know if, I think this might be the third variant maybe, and it's titanium on one side and it is micarta on the other, and it's green micarta, and then they got another one coming out that's either tan or brownish micarta, or maybe that one came out and I just haven't seen it. I'm not sure if this is the third in the series or the fourth in the series. But if the other ones are anything like this one, my God, it's like, for the money that you're paying, I mean, I've got knives that are quite a bit more expensive than this that aren't really as nice as this. It's, honestly, it's shockingly nice. Smooth, it feels good, it's lightweight, it's easy to carry. Like I said before, when I first got it, I thought I would just, you know, leave it in the box and, you know, stash it with the collection and, you know, show it as kind of a, hey, check this out type thing. But it's one of those knives, you know, some knives you buy and they're just so sharp you can't help yourself, you want to cut something with it. This one, it is extremely sharp, but it makes you want to carry it. You know, I have my go-to pocket knife. I carry a Curtis F3 compact, which I really like. So, you know, that's what I carry on any normal day. It's not my favorite knife, but it's one of my favorite knives. And so that's what I normally carry on any given day. But this thing, it makes you want to put it in your pocket. Everything is positive. The lockup is positive. There's no tilting the blade this way. There's no tilt from side to side. everything that you do with the knife, like even the little, everything's positive. Like there's no wiggle anywhere. It's all well thought out. Like I said, this thing here, highly unlikely I'll ever use it for any practical purpose in terms of that little lock there. I don't really, if you got a folding pocket knife and you're using it as a fixed blade, I don't know why. I mean, there may be some thought process behind it, but I don't know what it is. I can tell you right now that if you need a fixed blade, you should just use a fixed blade, because regardless, because this has this, if you look at that, I don't know if you can really see it with this phone, but this has really good lockup, like it's not going anywhere. But at the end of the day, it's still a folder, and if you need a fixed blade, just use a fixed blade, because even though the lockup is really good, and even though it has this little deal on there, a folder, at least in my mind, is never going to be as strong as a fixed blade, because you have a mechanical point of failure. And as good as this one is, and as good as some of them other ones out there are, it's still a mechanical point of failure. And if you put enough stress on it, it will fail, But fixed blades, if the heat treat isn't right, or, if the material is softer or more brittle than, the task that you're using it for, it will fail as well. So, but anyway, my assessment with this is I really like it. I'm glad that I got it. It's absolutely, for what it is, it's flawless. It's amazing. There's nothing on here that I can find to complain about. So, anyway, as always, stay safe, stay alert, stay alive, and we'll see you next time.